DOTE.
This is a short introduction to the differences between DOTE Free, the unlicensed version, and DOTE Pro and DOTE Pro Community. You have to purchase a license for those two editions, the DOTE Pro and DOTE Pro Community, and you can do that from our web shop. And then some premium features get unlocked. And here you can see I have DOTE running, and this is the DOTE unlicensed version. So this doesn't have a license. And what we can do is take a look at what are the key differences by showing you what's missing from the DOTE edition, this DOTE edition. But the DOTE Free edition can be used for a full workflow, starting from creating a new project through to opening Media Manager and adding some media. You can see we have several here. You can add your own media to a new project. And then transcribing using sync codes, as we see here, sync codes, and using video cues down here. You can do all of this with the DOTE Free edition. And then you can end up, once you've got your transcript, you can export to RTF here, and then you can see, but there are some things missing from the export, but you can export that with line numbers. And so you have a complete workflow that's very useful for students who are learning to transcribe or doing small transcription projects. So let's see what's missing from this. As we'll show right now, if I open this transcript here, you'll see it says limited to 200 lines, and if we go to the very end, it's been truncated to 200 lines. If I try to add here, you'll see it says it's limited to 200 lines. I cannot add any more lines to this transcript. And that's true for a transcript. Any transcript, it has a maximum of 200 lines in any project that you create. If somebody shares a project that's got more than 200 lines in a transcript, then it will be truncated, as we saw just then. So what else is there? Well, if you go to Media Manager, here in this unlicensed version, you see we have two active media. If I click on this, you'll see it says, but you've got two active media, you can't have any more, you have to deactivate. So only two active media are allowed at one time, and you can deactivate one and then I could do this and then activate this one. I'll just put it back to what it was. So you can have only two media at a time in the free version. And then you've got checkpoint mode, and I'm just going to open a different version here, the free demo with errors. Again, we have that warning about the number of lines. I'll just make sure everything's correct here. And if I look at checkpoints, you'll see we have a bunch of checkpoints that were created about the errors. And we can take a look at, okay, what did it look like, the transcript, at that particular time? And there we see what it looked like. But it might be that we want to see the changes between that version and the previous version. So if I turn that on, no, I can't see that. That's only available in the premium version, and I'll show that in a moment, what that looks like. So I'll just leave that mode there, and we'll come back to what it actually looks like if you can see. And then we've got export to RTF. Go to RTF here. In fact, I'll go back to the original because this one has errors. So I'm opening the Jeffersonian free demo without errors. And then export to RTF. Notice here we have line numbering, all, and there are other sorts of line numberings which only line number on specific tiers within the transcript, and those are unavailable. And also there is, you can remove the sub-tiers, like for translation and gloss. You can remove those in Jeffersonian conventions, and you can also do some nice pretty formatting, so prettifying your transcript. Those are unavailable in the free version, the unlicensed edition. And I'll show those in a moment, what they do look like. Also, you can note here export to SRT subtitling. So this is unavailable in the free version. Okay, let's just take a look at the Mondadian one to show the same. So I'll open the Mondadian free demo here. And then we take a look at export to RTF, and you'll see line numbering is also only none or all. And then removing the sub-tier names that we use in DOTE for better parsing of the transcript, and also some highlighting that conform with version 5.0.1. Those are unavailable here in the free version. So now I'm just going to go to the license manager. I'm going to activate a license. That's now activated for me. It's licensed to me, you can see here at the top. And now this, if I open the original Jeffersonian free demo, you'll see that now I have all the lines, no problem, 378 lines in this case. So you can have an unlimited number of lines in the DOTE Pro or DOTE Pro Community. Also, we can take a look at the Media Manager, and here we could activate any number of new media that we'd like. So these are all activatable. Let's go back to what it was. So that means you can add, if you have complex data, you can have multiple media open and switch between them, using sync codes and video cues to move between all of those rather than just two. There's also checkpoint mode. If I'm just going to go to the free demo with errors, this is the free demo with errors, and if I look at checkpoints, we have a bunch of checkpoints. And now if I say take a look at this one, missing latching on next speaker line, I can display changes. And this is what we call a diff, and here you see it says, okay, this is what was worked on in red, this is what was deleted in a darker red, and then in this green, yellowy green color, this is what was added. And you can see it looks like some things were, some latching was removed here, and then some space was removed, maybe to keep it lined up. And if we do this and we take a look at line 55, 56, we'll see there is some problem here to do with the latching. There is no closure of the latching here. The latching is sort of hanging open here, and it's not clear where what is being latched. So there's an error, and so you'll see what the transcript looked like. But in the DOTE Pro or Pro Community edition, you'll get this, where you can actually see the differences between the current version of the transcript you're looking at, you're peeking at, and the previous one, so you can actually see exactly what changes were made. And there's some explanation up here. So what I'm going to do is just leave peak mode here, leave checkpoint mode, and go back to the basic Jeffersonian free demo, and now take a look at export to RTF. And here now you'll see we have options for only primary lines or only first instance of consecutive primary lines. So if we choose that, now you'll see the line numbering is shifted. If a speaker is going to be talking continually on multiple lines with no break and no pauses between or comments, then you only get a line number on the first instance. You can also export with subtier types removed, now with being removed, and then also with some sort of pretty formatting. And notice now we have bold and italic, and grayed out for the subtiers, the translation or gloss subtiers. So we get a nice pretty formatting with line numbering appropriate for a particular presentation that you might prefer. We can also take a look at the Mondadian example and see what that looks like. Here's Mondadian free demo, and take a look at export to RTF. And here we have line numbering now. Instead of all, which will be every line, now we can say only the primary lines, or only the primary first instance of consecutive primary lines in a neighborhood. And we can also say we'd like to get rid of all those, and then also format them with caps for the speech within a neighborhood, and lowercase for all of the subtiers. And then we can say a nice bit of formatting for that. So now we've got line numbering only on the head of a neighborhood, with the primary speaker, maybe a secondary speaker, or a timed interval as we see here, and then all the subtiers are grey, and italics for the translation subtiers. And that's all nicely formatted all the way through. All exportable, importable directly into Word or a word processor, exactly in this format. So a nice complete workflow with very precise formatting and style. Now we have export to SRT is available. So if we take a look at that, we'll see with this version, which it works for Jeffersonian or Mondadian, then you can decide which language do you want. I want to have English, for example, as the subtitle. And SRT files, as you'll see in the tutorial about exporting to subtitles, they're just a plain text file, and if you play those on a desktop player like VLC or any other media player, then it will pick up usually the subtitles, and then you can format those as you wish when you play back. You can hard code them into the video if you wish, using certain software. And there's a whole bunch of features here that you can do, like adding speaker names if you wish to have those, maybe including the original as well, and so you can do all these choices. And this is only available in the DOTE Pro or DOTE Pro Community. Okay, that's a really quick introduction to those. What you also get if you purchase a license from the web shop with the DOTE Pro is you have a private discourse channel for just for the Pro users, and if you are a Pro community, then you're part of a community. Then we offer extra private channels and access to pre-release beta versions through our GitHub repository, where new versions that we're developing, you can get access to those and test those with us, and input into the development roadmaps, so that with the community that are investing in and most of the income that comes in from license purchases ends up for us in more software development. Then you will have some input into the development roadmap and also testing out of these features before they're properly released to everybody. So that's hopefully a nice package of premium features and community features, which will encourage you to purchase a license, because it will only benefit further to software development. And it's a non-profit enterprise that's purely about developing software for qualitative methodologies, especially around analyzing social interaction, multimodal interaction. That's it for a quick comparison of the differences.